This cheaty method will work for you, but you're going to want to learn to invert the chords. Turn them over, make them easier to get from one to the other. But for this week, this is going to work really, really well. You're going to memorize the 7 basic, we call them biscuit chords, and we'll explain that in a later date. 7 basic chords that you have to learn and how to play them. And if you do that and use my little cheaty rule, it will work every time. Okay? So here's another suggestion. If you've had any kind of music at all, forget it. I want you to think like somebody who knows nothing about music. I also want you to think like a child. Because when I tell children this, they go, oh, okay. I tell adults this and they go, what's the logic behind that? It's cheating. There is no logic. You're just going to play it, follow the rule, do it, and don't question it. And then it'll work every time. Okay? Got that? All right. So if you're playing a song, the chord symbols are above the staff. So you might see the very first, well, if you're a beginner, that's usually the first chord you see. C chord. That's the Spanish chord, C.
I got it.
Okay. So you're playing the melody, you're playing along, and the melody is going, and you have these chord symbols. And the chord symbols usually are above the note that they want you to change. The left-hand chord changes right above the note in the measure. So if you have these notes like this chord would happen right there, and you just hit them together. Okay? On an organ, you can hold them a long time because of the sustainability of the voices. On the clavinova, you can do the same thing. On a piano, you're probably going to have to repeat them more because the chord will die away, especially if you have a long time to hold it. Okay, so if I'm playing the C chord, here's the rule. If the C is just plain, just the letter by itself, it is a major chord. Okay, so capital letter all by itself, and it usually won't have a block around it. It'll just say C. If there's a number after it when you're a beginner, just ignore it. That's later. Just play C chord. If it says C major 7, just play C for now. Okay? All right, here's the rule. 43. And you don't have to take notes because I wrote them on the paper, but I have to write them on the board for the video. 43. This is a recipe. All right? The recipe for a major chord is 4 half steps and 3 half steps. So watch. Now, don't analyze this. All right? Put your little finger on the note of the chord, the name of the chord. If I want to play a C chord, I put my little finger on a C. All right? And I don't count that one as a number. That's the name of the chord. From this note, I'm going to count up 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to land there. All right? Then from this note, I'm going to count up 3 half steps. I don't count that note as a step. 1, 2, 3. There's my chord. Sometimes it comes out every other note. Okay? Generally, the chords will always feel kind of like this. You might have sharps or flats in some of them, but generally they'll feel just like that. And I don't care what fingers you use. I kind of like these. Okay? But some people use these 3 fingers. Doesn't matter. Okay? What if I want to play an F chord? I put my little finger on an F, right? And I count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. F chord. Now in this case again, it's F every other note. See how easy?
So the 43 is 4
half steps and 3 half steps. Okay? If I want to play a black note, and let's say I don't even know what chord it is, I just put my finger on any old note. In this case, it's an F sharp or G flat. All right, and now from here I'm going to count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do hands-on in a minute, so you're going to actually do this. Okay, so F sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. All black notes for that chord. Are you with me? All right, I want to play A. Put my little finger on A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and there's an A chord. Huh? Pretty cool, huh? All together. Oh! All right, now there's 7 chords, and they're all based on white notes except for the B flat, that you have to memorize how to spell them. And I do this because we're building here. In 6 weeks, you got to get the whole picture. So your assignment this week is you need to learn how to spell the 7 basic, I call them biscuit chords, and we'll talk about why later. But the first chord is C. If you put your little finger on C and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, C chord is spelled C-E-G. All right? A D chord, well, let's change. I'm going to put F chord next. F-A-C. F-A-C, every other note. G chord. Those are the first 3 chords you'll ever learn, because every song, beginner song, is in the key of C. G, B, D. The next 3 chords are A, D, and E. That spells aid. Aid means help. Well, spelled wrong, but the definition, these 3 chords need help, and they come in the form of a sharp in the middle. A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. A, C sharp, and E. D, F sharp, and A. And E, G sharp, and B.
Those are all major chords.
Those are all major chords.
Sharp means the black key to the
black
right of the note itself.
Right. If you sit on something sharp, the little tic-tac-toe sign, it means you go up to the right. Good question. Okay? And this is a flat. Means if your tire goes flat, you go down. It goes down, right? Half step to the left. Sharp up, flat down. How do you sharp a B? Becomes a C. How do you flat a C? Becomes a B. There's no black note there. Okay, so half a step is where you go up or down. The last chord that you need in this group is a B flat. B flat, and I don't use B because nobody ever plays a B chord. B flat, D, and F. So I'd rather have you spell that chord than a B chord. All right? Now, so this week, I want you to memorize how to spell them. I don't care if you memorize how to play them, because we're going to change them all around anyway later. But these chords are so important. You know why? They're the basis for every chord. Here's why. If I take a C chord and later on you're playing along and you see a chord that looks like that, C sharp diminished, you got to get out your book, start digging, looking for it, and you go, oh man, you know, I just want to play the song. But that chord is in there and it's important. Basically, once you learn these 7 basic chords, this chord's really easy. You put the bisquick in first, you spell the C chord, then you sharp the whole chord, and then you diminish it. But today, the cheaty method, all you have to do is play 33, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Look, put your little finger on a C sharp, and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, there's C sharp diminished. And that's way easier. But at some point, you've got to learn, you have to learn how to spell them. So you might as well do it now. Because later on, when your right hand wants to play more notes and you want to get more creative, you have to have an understanding of how chords work. And that's why we're going to learn, we'll talk about scales, where they come from. But for now, you can cheat like crazy. And you can sound really good. Okay? So, C chord, C, E, G. I think that's why God gave me 5 fingers. All right? If I just go C, just say every other letter of the alphabet. C, D, E, F, G. C, E, G. 1, 3, 5. Okay? F chord. F, G, A, B, C. F, A, C. G, B, D is every other note. A, D, and E are every other note with a sharp in the middle. See?
You said A, D, E.
A, D, and E.
Oh.
Okay? And B flat is every other note, the B is flatted.